we need to give you, but it would be, nothing will change now until hosting the semifinals. So we could meet Tuesday, and I'm sure some of you, some of us.
A lot of what I do in that meeting is timing, like when the band comes on the field, when we play this music, when we're doing these promotions, when this needs to be set up. So a lot of what I do and a lot of what I talk about on Thursday in that meeting is, just when things are going to happen, and just let anybody know any differences from past games or anything special, any presentations that we're doing on the field, like if we have a Gold Glover, if we have a historical national championship team coming back to be recognized, when we're doing those things.
Well, that's something that was done before my arrival even, but I think it's a great opportunity for all entities at Pittsburgh State, and even sometimes surrounding community members as well, to get together in a room and kind of just go back over the chronology of the events, and making sure everybody's on the same page. Athletics has a very defined script of down to the second, really, of what time things are supposed to be done. As far as what law enforcement, police, our activities obviously are for the safety and security of the fans and the players. And then also with parking, we have volunteers come in for parking attendant duties.
I'm Jacob Leonard. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Fan Engagement here at Pittsburgh State. Yeah, I usually get there about 3 to 4 hours before the game, just to make sure that we've got everything where it needs to. We've tested everything. We've tested audio. We've tested video, and that we know when it's time to flip things on and play music and play videos and make it a good fan experience, that we're good to go. Yeah, so during the week, I come up with scripts and a rundown and kind of when we're going to do things, and my job during the game is making sure we execute those at the right time. And still in my career, no game has gone exactly to script, so sometimes we have to move things up or move things down or do things earlier or do things later. But communicating with people running the video board or people running our in-game promotions through the headset, just trying to make sure we get everything that we're supposed to get in the game, and sometimes we have to move it around, so we're just kind of taking it as the game comes, and kind of adjusting to whatever happens in front of our face to try to make it as smooth and seamless as possible. Yeah, I guess I kind of view my job as I try to make it a fun atmosphere when people come out to our athletics events, and try to give them a reason to come back.
Central Missouri versus Pittsburgh State.
Stu Height, Chief of Police here at Pittsburgh State. I started this in June of 2018 after retiring from the Sheriff's Office after 30 years there at Crawford County. Typically, we have officers, and it's an all hands on deck type thing. It's all officers, vacations are typically canceled. Everybody knows when the home football schedule comes out. Everybody that works at University Police knows when the home games are and kind of schedules their activities around that. So I think we usually have people report. Of course, we have 24/7 operations, so we have people working anyway. I think we usually have everybody report for duty usually around 3 hours before, if I remember right, typically. And it depends on, if it's a evening game or an afternoon game, and our kickoffs are different from other MIAA conference games. We kick off typically at 2 versus 1 in other places. So usually we're here and ready to go by 10 or 11 in the morning. We make sure we do, either us or NPB will do security sweeps of the stadium, making sure there's no strange devices or more probably accordingly more alcohol that somebody smuggled in and stashed somewhere. And we typically don't find anything, but we still, you can't get complacent. I mean, you have to still, the stadium's locked on game days, unlocked at a certain time for a certain reason. Everything's coordinated and calculated.
My name is Austin Parrish, and I am a cadet, MS3 in ROTC. I'm also the OIC, or the officer in charge of cannon crew for game days. And we usually get there about 12:45 or 1 to prepare for a 2 o'clock game. So usually about an hour 15 before the game. So first we have to go to the vault and get our ammunition, our blank rounds, and then we come to the field and we set up our boxes full of our trigger mechanism, and then we take the cannon out from the display area. We bring it into the stadium, and then we load the trigger mechanism, test it out, see if it works, and then we're ready to go. Well, first we talk a little bit about how to do it. There's a couple different ways of how to pull the cannon. But it can be a little difficult at times, and a lot of people underestimate it. And so we do a few practice rounds, and then I just want to take the opportunity to get to know them and thank them for what they've done for Pitt State. I know the President's Office picks someone who has done something really great for the university, and so I want to make sure that they feel appreciated, and I want to be interested in what they're doing as well. It was such a cool experience to walk out on the field, and it was shocking to just be around so many people, all watching such a great event. And I remember thinking that day that it's really happening. I'm really signing, and so it was super exciting. And then just getting to be here on this campus and in that stadium was just an experience unlike anything else I've experienced.
So my name is Dominic Santiago. I'm currently the producer for sports broadcasting at Pittsburgh State University. I think one thing that we do that most people won't realize that happens is all the preparation that goes into it. I mean, we spend hours planning out scripts, making graphics, checking the graphics, finding ways to create highlight packages to show off both teams and kind of tell the story of the game. So I think that's one of the big things that happens, as well as just all the stuff that happens on the day as far as setting up cameras, checking all the equipment, and making sure that we're able to provide a final product that is of high quality enough to be shown in the stadium.
Going to stay pretty much all game long. There is a bit of a breeze down on the field that might affect the way that the ball is thrown throughout the air or maybe even kicked in some of these situations. But overall, it is going to be a great day for college football.
So usually I show up around 5 or 6 hours earlier than the kickoff. That's just so I can show up, test all the equipment, and then help with the setup of cameras, since those have to be taken out the day of so we don't get rained on. So usually about 5 to 6 hours, and then we have our crew call, which is about 2 hours before, and then we have our talent meeting about 3 or 4 hours before that. And so I'm there earlier, and then as people start to show up, you can kind of see the crew start to get built out and really kind of appear. Yeah, I think it's always a great opportunity for students when they have the chance to speak and really just be around professionals. It's something that students can take from and see, oh, this professional is putting in the time to prepare and to be knowledgeable about the subject that they're about to talk about, which is, a sporting event. And so to see a professional do it, I think it can kind of inspire students to take that kind of drive themselves and push what they want to do as a passion forward. And so, we have people that are interested in calling a game, and so they're able to see, Brian Haney show up and he's prepared and he's ready to go. And they can even ask him questions as long as we're not busy at the time, but they can ask him questions like, how did you get started in your career? How do you plan to continue your career forward? And what can I do as a student to kind of start my career as well? And so really just having those professionals around also elevates the quality of our broadcast, because we're going on to local TV stations in the Kansas City market, and so it kind of brings up the quality and expectation for these broadcasts. And so to have professionals there to kind of make sure that the thing goes smooth, and so even if we do have technical problems, we still have a quality play-by-play and color analyst for the games is always good.
My favorite Pitt State football memory is easily, I was a broadcast student, just like you guys, and I remember the first time when I was in school, we traveled with the football team and we broadcasted from wherever they were playing. Every school at that time didn't have a group of broadcast students to be able to put out the feed. And so the first time I ever went on a broadcasting trip, home or away, my first football game I did as a Pitt broadcasting student was the first time that John Brown touched a football at Missouri Western. And I remember I was on the replay machine, and back then it had a little knob, and if you wanted a slow motion, you just had to barely turn it forwards. If you wanted to do it fast, you had to turn it, and it was very touchy. But I remember one of the first plays that I replayed was the first time John Brown touched a football and took the punt return back for a touchdown. And from that second on, I was like, is it this fun all the time? Like, is this cool? Like, is this what we're going to be doing? Is this what Pitt State football is about? Is this what Pitt State broadcasting is about? Like, if this is what it is, then I want to be a part of it for a very long time. And, as you see, I'm sitting here right now. So for the most part, it is that much fun, and that's why I'm here.
I remember this season was a lot of fun. It seemed like we always end up scoring on our end of the field.
Yeah. Hands it off to Hernandez, and it'll be a touchdown for the Gorillas.
My favorite part is just getting to be right there and given that front view. And so when we won that game, that last home game was really cool. I know we fell short on the last playoff game, but the last regular season game was really cool.
Oh gosh, there's a lot. Probably most of them came prior to my job here. I got to go to the 2011 Florence, Alabama National Championship. So went down there. I was around as a student in '91, but I did not travel to Florence back then. So that's probably my best memory. I'd say that's probably my favorite. There's a lot of people talk about the Delta State game, which was a night game that's kind of iconic. As far as Pitt State, there's an aerial picture of that. In fact, it's hanging on my wall, I think that's pretty sure that's from the Delta State game. It was impressive, probably one of the largest crowds we had. So, and the other thing I enjoy is truly the interacting with the student body. They're great. And just over the last few years, you know, they've gotten to know me, and I've gotten to know them. And it's amazing the interaction you can that you have with them proactively. I think that's a good testament to just being good Pitt State Gorillas.